What's up, you guys? So, I have a big surprise for you today. We're talking about two things. We're talking about married at first sight, the whole situation, the toxic situation we see going on with Chris and Paige. And I also have a guest contributor contributing to this video. So, we're going to get into the situation with Chris and Paige, and then we're going to get into my guest contributor. Paige has done an interview with Bossip and she has denied being a doormat. Now, if you're familiar with the show, you know that the man that they paired her with announced that he wasn't attracted to her. He had a panic attack because he wasn't attracted to her, but he was still intimate with her every day that they've been married, which has been about a week. He's been intimate with her every day. But then he broke the news to her that his girlfriend, his ex fiance, was actually pregnant. So he impregnated his ex fiance during the time that they were casting for this show. She decided to stick around, and so people are calling her a doormat. So in this interview with Bossip, she denies being a doormat. She says, I think a lot of people are so quick to judge me and call me weak minded, desperate, or even my favorite, a doormat. But no one takes the time to really sit on the fact that coming into this process, I really respected the ideals and values of marriage and wanted something like that on my own. So let's get into our guest contributor. We have Caitlin Loren here, and she is breaking this whole situation down.
Lifetime's hit show Married at First Sight is a show where 10 lucky singles are married and then given 90 days to decide if they want to stay married or get a divorce. One couple that has everyone talking this season is Paige and Chris, two singles who were put together because of their religious beliefs, but even God couldn't hold them together. To the surprise of many, things almost immediately took a turn once the couple said, I do. Chris made it clear Paige is not the type of woman he would go for and even states this to her face. Believing it was her wifely duty, Paige had unprotected sex with him multiple times as an attempt to bring them closer. Despite this and other signs of disrespect, Paige relied on her faith and said yes, this marriage was God's plan for her life. Her stance was strong. She was going to be a ride or die for Chris. After this, Chris tells Paige his ex-fiancée was 6 weeks pregnant with his child. This rang off alarms in everyone's mind because yes, that means he was dealing with his ex-fiancée during the show's production. Paige wanted to stay and work it out, but Chris is the one who called off the marriage. When asked her thoughts about the pregnancy, she made it adamant how important it was to be a ride or die to her, stating, I'm true to this, not new to this. Everything being shown on the show led to several social media posts calling Paige weak and a doormat. Well, now was the time. Paige said, I am going to clear my name. In a recent interview with Bossip, Paige detailed her experience with Chris admitting the marriage was indeed toxic before responding to those calling her out of her name. The Chris you see on camera is the same guy off camera. He's very self-serving this entire time. The pressure of it all had really taken a toll. I truly like to see the good in people, and that's why I give difficult things a fighting chance. But just like the old saying goes, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. When asked what she believed God was teaching her, this is what she had to say. The biggest lesson I think he wanted me to learn throughout the process is to not rush him and to let things happen on his time. This process confirmed the healing and transformative work that needs to be done in order to truly be ready for marriage. Here is my take on things. First, I am glad Paige was able to identify that this marriage was toxic because I wasn't in the show when I was triggered. Not Chris, oh my goodness. Yes, Chris. Chris was manipulative of her the entire time. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with the way she values marriage because I take marriage seriously as well. But I think there is a huge difference between sticking it out because you love someone and there really might still be something there, then sticking it out because you believe God's soulmate for you has to be tied to consistent blatant abuse and disrespect. Chris never respected her, and it showed in every single interaction that he had with her. Chris put Paige's health at risk by being intimate with his fiancé, if that even was a fiancé, during production. And if you do the math, 6 weeks pregnant means he had sex with her up to the day, possibly, that they started filming. How crazy is that? And if Chris was truly looking for marriage, he would not have put this poor woman's health at risk. He was stringing her along from the start. Ladies, men too, but ladies, love and loyalty is not measured by how much pain and disrespect you take. Love and loyalty is not measured by how much you ignore red flags that are waiting right there in your face. Love is not excusing toxic behavior. God is never going to lead you to hell on earth just so you can sit at peace with it by wearing rose-colored glasses. We have to stop associating faith with pain and prosperity being on the other side. Sometimes in life, you just make mistakes, and in Paige's case, this was just a mistake that, thank goodness, she learned from. Another lesson we can learn is to be careful of the people you associate with, not just in romantic places, but especially in romantic places, because the person you are with is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. And the show definitely made it look like, because she was putting up with all of this, that Paige has extremely low self-esteem. Again, regardless of how long it takes, make sure you are whole and able to discern someone's true character before committing to and having sex with them, because now, if you don't, you're picking up pain that was never meant to be yours in the first place. And even though it was a situation I'm sure she'll never forget for all of the wrong reasons, I'm glad she was able to remain friends with the cast and learn something on top of really sitting with and acknowledging the harsh truth of what was going on. The experts did a terrible job doing a background screening on this man. The experts didn't do their research, and the show honestly failed her. Chris never had intentions on taking this marriage seriously, and she deserves better than what she was being given. Let this be a lesson. When you're given scraps, get the hefty bag and throw it all away, because now it's time to take out the trash.
Okay. So that was a word. That was a word from our guest contributor, Caitlin Loren.
All right. Hey, Layla. Hello, everybody. My name is Caitlin Loren. Like she said, I am the guest contributor for this video, and I am so excited and so thankful that Layla allowed me to do this video because, listen, this story was too hot to miss.
Yes. I've been watching it. You guys, I haven't covered Married at First Sight on my channel as of yet, but we're covering it now. And this situation, this toxic mess between Chris and Paige has to be discussed. Leave a comment in the comment section and let us know what you're feeling as you're watching Married at First Sight and you're watching all of this unfold between Chris and Paige. Caitlin Loren, do you think, on the side of Paige, do you think this is a case of being over-churched or a toxic religion?
I definitely think it is because I was raised in the Black church, and not only the Black church, the Southern Black church. Mm-hmm. And what I can say is that the message that makes everybody start hooping and hollering the most is the ones where the pastor is saying, your struggle is your crown. So I do think this is what it is, because everything that she went through was, look, it was way more than I could have bear. So I do think this was a case of, God is going to use this situation for my crowning and for my next season. Listen, you've been in church, so you already know how the sermon goes. So that is my answer.
Yeah, I do think that Paige is definitely almost like over church. That's the term that I use for it. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see because she's willing to accept scraps, as you called it. What you say? Bring out the hefty bag?
Yes, the hefty bag with the red strings.
Okay. The strong one. It's like she's willing to accept scraps just to be a wife. And that's something I don't agree with. But I also don't feel like from the start, I know she feels like God ordained this marriage, but I disagree. I don't feel like this is God ordained. I don't think God ordained it for her to go on reality TV and marry a stranger. Like I feel like God holds marriage in such an esteem that he wouldn't want you to marry somebody that you've never even seen. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like it's a case of her doing what she wants to do and then saying is God's will. I feel
exactly. And honestly, like that's what a lot of us do. Like a lot of us, when there is something or somebody that we hold in high esteem, because we like it, we'll put God's stamp on it. With sometimes it's just us being impatient and us being like, this is my man and I want it now. Right. This is my money and I want it now. So I think that with this situation, this definitely wasn't God. It was just something that she saw on Craigslist or on TV when they said Married at First Sight casting is coming. She got her hair done, did her makeup, and she went on down into the front of the line, okay? And said, this is Jesus, this is it. So I think that's what happened with my girl Paige.
Yeah, and it's really not, in my opinion, it's really not And I think that's the root cause of the situation. Other than Chris being like a mess, a narcissistic mess, I think the root cause is that it's not necessarily God ordained. And it's almost like having blind faith, but in a way that's harmful to you. And I feel like that's where the toxicity comes in, and the toxic faith comes in, because it's harmful to her. Like it's very harmful, and it hurts to even watch it.
It does. And I can say honestly, for me, Chris is my worst nightmare. He is my worst nightmare. I think you're fine. You're semi-nice to me. And now you're having a kid on me. So just putting myself in Paige's mindset, I don't even know how much therapy this woman will need for the behavior that this boy, put her through, because she didn't deserve any of that. She really just wanted to be saved and not single. That's all she wanted, Layla. That's all she wanted.
Yeah. It's sad to see. It's upsetting me and my homegirls.
Yes. Yes.
It really is. It really is. So, Caitlin Loren, I want to thank you for contributing to this video, putting in your time and effort in making the video, because it's not easy. It takes hours to make even a few minutes worth of video. It takes hours. So I definitely want to thank you to contributing to the Layla Lynn channel and sparking off the conversation here about Married at First Sight, Chris and Paige.
Thank you so much. I would love to do it again. So just call me.
All right, I'm going to call you, girl.
All right.